And what's going on? It's your guy King David, trapmonsters.com. Here today I'm going to be talking about sidechaining, getting your kick drum, your 808 to go so smooth up underneath your mix and whatnot, so everything will have its own space in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Your 808s to sit where it's at, the kick need to hit, it'll be right where it need to be at. And the best way to do that, because they're both two low ends of your mix, is you're going to have to get a sidechain compressor. And a sidechain compressor basically is effect you'll put on your 808 to let it know every single time that kick drum wants to be shown or have presence in the mix, that it will back down a little bit. It will turn down its volume, should I say, down just a little bit, just ever so slightly, so the kick can be over it. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have a little shine over the 808. So now I got sidechain basically explained the best way I can explain it to you guys is to show you it. And so let me see here. What I'll do is go right here, and everything I'm using is stock plugins. So I'm using the compressor that comes with Machine 2 software. And what you want to do once you go into, I'll show you how to get to it. You go to internal, and then you select the compressor. I already have it on my track. So, and then from there, you want to, it'll be on main. So you want to go click it over to sidechain input. From there, you select your kick drum, so it'll know what it needs to turn down, what has priority over that particular sound that you have the compressor on. Once you have it there, you dial in exactly how much you want it to turn down, and I want this right here, and then let me hit play. I'm gonna bypass it real quick so you'll hear how it sounds without the sidechain effect on it. Okay, and so now I'm gonna play it again and then turn the sidechain effect on. You will hear a little bit more presence of the 808 because I have a distortion plug-in on it, which, let me do this. It really needs to be right there. All right, so now you'll be able to hear it. Let me play it. Basically that's happened is, like I said, the 808, every time that kick drum hits, the 808 will turn down just a little bit, where you see these two tracks right here is the kick drum and the 808, and right here they hit together, right here they hit together, here, and so forth. So every time this kick drum hits, this 808 is going to turn down, and you probably won't hear it that much through the headphones, or actually it's best to have headphones, or if you listen to through the studio monitors right now in this video, you'll hear the difference. But if you're on regular laptop speakers or regular speakers, you probably ain't gonna hear it like that. So I advise you to actually put some headphones in so you can hear this. But so what's happening is, like I said, it's the 808 is turning down. The kick drum is having more priority over the 808, and is allowing the 808 to actually have that punch and hit, which cleans up your mix, keep everything from being muddy. And another thing you would have to do for your kick drum is put an EQ on. Cut out all the frequencies that you don't want in there to make it a lot more tighter, punchier sound, to have a lot more presence in your mix. And this is good for your laptops, your headphones, your small bug headphones, your cell phone, you know, all these little small speakers and things like that. That doesn't really handle bass that well. But this is how you're able to maneuver your sound in a way where it'll be able to have a lot more presence in those smaller devices and headphones and speakers. So it may not seem like it's doing a lot, but best believe it is. When you translate it and put it in a smaller headphones or laptop or something like that, you'll hear your low end in the mix. see in the EQ curve right here, I trimmed a little bit of the top end of the kick, and then I cut a lot on the back end of it because I have the 808 that's sitting right there, and I want the 808 to have that low end. You know what I'm saying? The kick don't necessarily have to have a low end to it. It just needs that punch. And so the things I brightened up and made a lot more defined in the 808 is bringing it up right here. Now this 808 actually is is in the key of D, or the kick is actually in the key of D, but the beat itself is in F. And how I like to mix is to make sure, as you can see in this this graphic EQ is that the beat itself is in F. So right here in the F point of this kick drum, I want it to stick out a little bit more. To me, it just seems it sounds a lot more better when you handle an EQ in a way, definitely an EQ like this, that lets you know where in the key of this equalizer is at. I mean, that's why it has it like that, where you can see, you move it around and it just switches the key right here. You can see where the note of that kick drum is at and where you want it to stick out at. And me personally, I wanted an F because the beat is in F itself, and so it just adds a lot more of a musical feel to the kick drum when it's hitting, and it's just there's certain tones and things like that that's coming out of the kick drum is able to be shown, and that's what I want to be shown in this particular kick. It's the F tone of the kick. So going past that now, having to EQ it and then putting a little distortion on here, which I have decapitator on here by Soundtoy to give it a little distortion saturation on the kick drum itself, to give those transits a little bit of sauce, a little flavor, seasoning to it, to spike them a little bit, so it'll have a little bit more presence in the mix. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and that's what it is. And actually doing that, it keeps you from having to layer your kick drums. Now, if now let me say this. That only depends on if you have good sample kicks and 808s and drums, period. If you have good samples, it's not going to work with MP3 files and stuff like that and watered down kicks, and they just weak. You know what I'm saying? Every producer know a good sounding kick and 808. You know what I'm saying? Then they, or should know. You know what I'm saying? So just finding your good quality samples and then processing from there will take your beat a lot further. You know what I'm saying? And your production. So just minding starting off with good quality samples and adding some good techniques like this to your sounds and your rhythm and your drums and your mix will take your tracks a lot further. You know what I'm saying? All right, and then like I said, just a little saturation too. You know what I'm saying? Sidechaining, and that's what sidechaining is. Now you got all different type of plugins out here from Waves and all kind of other brands out here that have sidechaining effect to it. And most compressors, if you see SC beside the name of the compressor, if you see SC, that means sidechain. So you would just take that same technique I just showed you and apply it to your 808. Now here's another sidechain effect right here. It's third party, and I use this sometimes, called Kickstarter. And this is real simple. This is real easy to do right here. This is easy as hell. But what you do is you can select how much of a curve you want, how much of a dip down you want the 808 to be before the kick. The kick could be here, the 808 to come down right in this pocket right here, and the kick could have presence up at the top. So that's why you see these different graphs right here. But the best one for me, like I like to use, is them deep low 808s, them sub bass, and see they have a preset for that, and then you can select your grid depending on how much you hitting it or whatever, and how much of it in the mix is going to be affected. And so right here, normally being at max volume ain't gonna do too well for this beat, and I'll let you hear how it sounds. You see how the 808 really isn't really cutting through. You don't really hear it because the kick itself is just the sidechain itself is kind of smothering the 808. It's just hard compressing the hell out of it. So what I want to do is just back it down a little bit. And see, now you hear that wobbly little thing, the little end right there. That lets me know it coming out just a little bit more because it's doing something to the 808 that I don't want it to do. You know what I'm saying? Which is giving this low muddiness. And now which I still have to go into my 808 and shape it up and clean it up too, because it's some low end of the 808 that don't need to be there. It's not gonna probably come through on the headphones and speakers anyway like that I need to cut out. So just making sure you EQ your kick and your 808 and then doing some side chaining and a little compression, and you'll get a tight low end that's not going to clash. It ain't gonna be muddy, any of that, and your stuff will not. You know what I'm saying? Off top. You know what I'm saying? So this concludes the tutorial, man. And this your guy King David. Don't forget I am the plug. Until next time, peace.